celebration in 2014, hosted by the Bobo Shanti Rastafari in Fort Lauderdale. And I met a young sister there who said she was a homeschooling mother with a homeschooling organization and wanted me to help. And I agreed to help. Come to find out later, she was an exotic dancer. And she tried to go on a campaign to discredit me. And at first, the campaign wasn't getting no attention because nobody cared about what two consensual adults were doing behind closed doors. So she took it to a whole nother level. She took it to a whole nother level, brothers and sisters, and she started saying that I was using school money to fly her around the country and using school money to take her out and take her on dates, and I was using school money to pay for hotels. So because she didn't get the reaction she wanted from the YouTubian media, she said, I'm going to just say he started stealing money. And they was interviewing this woman every day, all day for months at hand. And not one person ever asked, do you have any proof that he ever spent a penny of the money on you or anything other than FDMG? Do you have any proof that he ever spent a penny of this money on on you or anything other than FDMG? And so they were happy because they thought it was the end of me, because I just cut all them out of exploiting me for conscious money. I was no longer doing conscious lectures for free. I had started to charge because my first 10 years, I never took a penny for any of the lectures that I did. So I cut out the middlemen because they was taking me to lectures and bringing me in and not even let me finish my lecture and let everybody else get on the platform. And then when it's time for me to speak, they telling me I only got 30 minutes when you just gave all my time to somebody I don't even know. So I said, I got to stop this. These Negroes don't care about me or my message. They're just using me to draw the crowd and get paid. So when she started hating, it came at the right time. When she started her assassination campaign, it came at the perfect time for all of the jealous ones in the conscious movement and all of the leeches to try to use this as a platform through which they could destroy me. So that went on for almost a year. I take my second trip to Africa. I started taking my group trip to Africa in 2014, group trip to Africa 2015. And when I came back from my group trip to Africa in 2015, I got a call from the Breakfast Club, Power 105, the Breakfast Club, Charlemagne. They hit me up while I'm going through this whole thing with COINTELHO and the haters in the conscious community. So the Breakfast Club said, we want you to come on. So I go to the Breakfast Club for the first time, not knowing what to expect. And they threw me an alley-oop in terms of the Breakfast Club interview, the first one that I did, which was 2015. And I caught that alley-oop. I took it around my back. I took that alley-oop under my leg. I double pumped that alley-oop, slammed it in reverse. 5 million views later, it's a classic. The Breakfast Club interview that I did in 2015 was so prophetic. The Breakfast Club interview I did in 2015 was so prophetic and so beneficial because it opened me up. Although I was already the biggest name in Black consciousness globally, I was already the biggest name in Black consciousness. But what the Breakfast Club did was it took me into the homes and hearts of Black people who had not heard me yet. Hip hop community, bougie Black community, social network generation. So all the Black folk who I had not yet been exposed to, even though I was already number one, all the Black folks I had not been exposed to, the Breakfast Club interview would expose me to them. And I say it all the time. I say, before I went to the Breakfast Club, half the people in the airport knew who I was. Before I went to the Breakfast Club, half the people in the airport knew who I was. After the Breakfast Club, everybody in the airport knew who I was. And I was able to instantly see the impact that the Breakfast Club had with regard to taking Dr. Umar's brand global. And it really set the hate campaign back. It really set the hate campaign back, because the Breakfast Club interview brought me millions of new supporters. And so the henchmen in the conscious community, it was nothing they can do. It was like a tidal wave. A tidal wave came and just washed the entire hate campaign away. And it forced the conscious community to understand something that a lot of the YouTubians don't understand right now. It forced the conscious community to understand something that many of the anti-Ifa Tunde YouTubians don't understand right now. And that is Dr. Umar has transcended the Black consciousness movement. Although Dr. Umar is a part of the consciousness movement, he has transcended it, which is to say he belongs to African people, not the conscious community. This is why whenever there's a hate campaign against me, it's never successful at destroying me, because I'm not a YouTubian. I'm not limited to YouTube. I don't even have a YouTube page, so they only can do so much because I'm not a part of that. I've transcended it. I may be the biggest name in Black YouTube. I have more videos than anybody alive on Black YouTube, but I've transcended that. So the YouTubians can only do so much harm. The conscious community Negroes who envy me for my position and influence, they can only do so much harm because I've transcended that. I have millions and millions of supporters who are not conscious. I have parents who support me who are not necessarily conscious or part of the conscious community. You understand? And so, no sound on Instagram. They didn't silence me on Instagram again. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to come back. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put my Facebook up here. That's what I'm going to do. Share. And so I'm just here today, really. I'm just here today, really, to say thank you. I'm just here today, really, to say thank you. Dr. Umar thanks all his supporters for supporting him these past 11 years. 10-year King Kong Consciousness Anniversary. Harlem 10/30/10. Okay, so brothers and sisters, 11 years down, 100 more to go. 11 years down, 100 more to go. 11 years down. Hey, sister. Hey, Sister Tanya. Shout out to you and Brother Cody. Much love. They took us on our first college tour. So what I'm going to do to celebrate 11 years as King of Black Consciousness, to celebrate 11 years as King of Black Consciousness, to celebrate 11 years as King of Global Black Consciousness. And let me thank my continental Africans for making me who I am. My Africans in Europe, my France, my Belgium, my Germany Africans, my Austrian Africans, my UK Africans. Let me thank my Caribbean Africans, my Haitian Africans, my Jamaican, Bermuda, Bahamas, St. Thomas, St. Croix, Turks and Caicos, St. Martin, my Puerto Rican Africans, all of them, my Canadian Africans. Okay, I got to thank my Africans in Japan, my Africans in China, my Africans in Australia, my South Pacific Africans, my Central and South America, all of the Africans around the world who has stood by me these 11 years since October the 30th of 2010 until October the 30th of 2021. 11 long years. We still here. Can't wait to get the gym ready so we can start holding events. I can't wait to get the gym ready until we start holding events. Hopefully we can do that before the year ends. If we can't, Black History Month gonna be off the hook. Black History Month is gonna be off the hook. They got my Facebook wifey, Sister Octavia, Grand Rising to the Facebook wifey. 11 long years, and I look around at a lot of the other people in the conscious community. They have fell off. They've been indicted. They done lost their minds. They done went into something else. They've been exposed as frauds. I mean, I've watched a lot of the people who've hated on me have fell off, and that's why I learned a good lesson from African spirituality. I've learned a good lesson from African spirituality in many of my readings that I've got. I've been admonished to not return fire for fire. I've constantly been told in my divinations, my spiritual divinations, do not return fire with fire. Okay? I was constantly told, do not clap back at the haters, which I've largely not done. I've only clapped back maybe 5 times in 11 years. I think I've only clapped back 5 times in 11 years. I clapped back at Sinetta when we had our beef. I clapped back at Polite when we had our beef. I clapped back at Seti. I clapped back at Nasheed. And I clapped back at the YouTubians. 5 clapbacks in 11 years. That is not bad. 5 clapbacks in 11 years. That is not bad. 5 clapbacks in 11 years. That is not bad at all. So in honor of my 11th anniversary, I want you to hit the Cash App. In honor of my 11th anniversary, I want you to hit the Cash App. In honor of my 11th anniversary as King Kong Consciousness, anniversary of Nat Turner's surrender. Nat Turner was found and surrendered on October 30, 1831, and he was hanged. Nat Turner was found on October the 30th. Dr. Umar was found on October the 30th. Nat Turner was found on October the 30th. Dr. Umar was found on October the 30th. And 12 days later, Nat Turner was hanged. And 12 days from today, I will be in Nat Turner land. 12 days from today, I will be in Nat Turner land. And I hope all of you will be there with me on November the 11th from 11 till 8. November the 11th, we gather at 11 a.m. The tour is around 12:01 p.m. We socialize and we fellowship from about 3 to 5. We have a family dinner at Nat Turner land. Dr. Umar speaks. We take pictures, support the vendors, because there's always an African marketplace at Nat Turner land. You want to come through. There's always an African marketplace at Nat Turner land. You want to come through. Go to natturnerlibrary.com. 12 days from today, we will all be in Nat Turner land. Go to natturnerlibrary.com, brothers and sisters. What I want to do in honor of my 11th anniversary, and if you want to donate directly, you can hit the Cash App for Dr. Umar Johnson. If you want to donate to me directly, not to the school, but to me for the 11th anniversary, hit the Cash App, $ Dr. Umar Johnson, or you can hit your Zelle using my cell number. 215-989-9858, or your PayPal, paypal.me/Umar the psychologist, but always donate to the school first, $ FDMG school, or FDMG, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. In honor of my 11th anniversary, I want to get back to Black America since Dr. King. In honor of my 11th anniversary as King Kong Consciousness, Intercontinental Ifa Tunde, Prince of Pan-Africanism, Notorious RBG, I want to get back into Black America since Dr. King. We ended with 1972. So we are now going to get into 1973. Let's do 1973. I got 3 pages for 1973. So on January the 20th of 1973, one of the greatest revolutionary Pan-Africanist freedom fighters of all time. He is often ignored. He is often overlooked. And I think that is because he comes from Spanish, Portuguese-speaking country. And that great African Pan-Africanist revolutionary general was named Amilcar Cabral. Do your research on Amilcar Cabral. This brother was an agricultural scientist. He was the Dr. George Washington Carver of Africa. He was like the Dr. George Washington Carver of Africa, Dr. Amilcar Cabral, independence leader of Guinea-Bissau. Who taught his soldiers how to live off the land. Amilcar Cabral taught his soldiers how to live off the land. And so when the Portuguese cut off the food and supply line, his soldiers were able to live off the land because he taught them agricultural science. Some consider Amilcar Cabral's Pan-Africanist revolution in Guinea-Bissau to be one of the most efficient and effective Pan-African revolutions of all time. We have to study that brother more. He's ignored because he was from a Portuguese-speaking country. English countries, we know about Nigeria, we know about Kenya, we know about Ghana, but we have to study those Francophone-speaking countries and those Portuguese-speaking countries. Amilcar Cabral was assassinated, murdered by jealous comrades, January 20th, 1973. He was murdered by jealous comrades, January 20th, 1973. He was murdered by jealous comrades, January 20th of 1973. If you have a question for Dr. Umar or a comment on my 11th year anniversary, if you have a question during this seminar on Black America since King 1973 and beyond, hit my personal Cash App and I will read your statement or your question, because today is about me. Today is about my 11-year survival. Today we celebrate 11 years of you all standing with me and standing by me. So if you have a question or a comment, send, and I will let you send as little as $1. I will let you send Cash App $1 to $ Dr. Umar Johnson, or Cash App $1 to paypal.me/Umar the psychologist, or Cash App $1 to Zelle 215-989-9858, and I will read your comment or answer your question. Today is me. Today it's me. Still hit the Cash App for the school. Still hit the PayPal for the school. Still send a check or money order for the school. But 11-year anniversary of King Kong Consciousness, October 30th, 2010. Cash App me directly, privately. This is a personal donation. It is not a school donation to support the works of Dr. Umar. FDMG is the primary work, but I have other works. FDMG is the primary work, but I have other works. Personal Cash App is $DrUmarJohnsson. Personal Cash App is $DrUmarJohnsson. You must put Johnson. If you put $ Dr. Umar, that is a fraudulent account. Cash App $ Dr. Umar, that is a fraudulent account. You must put Johnson. You must put Johnson. $DrUmarJohnsson is my Cash App. $1 is all you need to send, or you can send more to get your question answered or your comment read. Y'all want me to put it? Y'all should know how to put it. Okay. Cash.me/$ Dr. Umar. No period after doctor. All one word. No period after doctor. All one word. There you go. Octavia got it right. So, Amilcar Cabral is assassinated January the 20th, 1973, right? He is assassinated. On January the 2nd, 2 days later, after Amilcar Cabral's assassination, Roe versus Wade Supreme Court decision is made, making abortion legal. Supreme Court bans sex-segregated, help-wanted advertising. Also, the Selective Service announces an end to the Vietnam draft. January 22nd, 1973, the Selective Service announces an end to the Vietnam draft. On January the 27th, 1973, Richard Nixon signs the Paris Peace Accord, ending U.S. involvement in Vietnam. North Vietnam returns 500 American prisoners of war. January the 27th, 1973, Richard Nixon ends America's involvement in Vietnam, and 500 prisoners of war are released. In 1973, the height requirement to become a police officer in America is rescinded. Up until 1973, you had to be a certain height. Up until 1973, you had to be a certain height to be a police officer in America. Up until 1973, you had to be a certain height in order to be a police officer in the United States of America. On April the 4th of 1973, which is the 5th anniversary of Dr. King's assassination, the 5th anniversary of Dr. King's assassination, April the 4th, 1963, the Mac, the most popular blaxploitation film of all time, the Mac, the most popular blaxploitation film of all time is released by a European Jewish producer. How many of y'all knew that? How many of y'all knew that the most popular blaxploitation film of all time, The Mac, was produced by a European Jew? How many of y'all knew that the most popular blaxploitation film of all time, The Mac, was produced by a European Jew? His name was Harvey Bernhard. The original script was written on toilet tissue by Bobby Poole, an inmate at San Quentin Prison. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? The Mac was written, the script was written on toilet tissue at San Quentin prison by an inmate named Bobby Poole. I don't know if Bobby Poole was black or white. I don't know if Bobby Poole was black or white. San Quentin prison. Remember, 2 years earlier, 1971, which we covered on my last live stream. What happened on my birthday, 1971? August the 21st, 1971, George Jackson's Soledad brother led a prison liberation rebellion and was murdered. That same prison, a prisoner from the same prison where Soledad brother George Jackson led a liberation war. The same prison, San Quentin prison. Shout out to all the African inmates in San Quentin. Shout out to all the Africans being locked down in San Quentin. Same prison where Soledad brother lost his life and led the most revolutionary prison liberation movement in American history. Bobby Poole, an inmate, wrote the script for The Mac, the highest selling and most popular blaxploitation film of all time, on toilet tissue. And it was produced later. A European Jew took it. A European Jew took the Mac script from a prisoner. I wasn't born in 1971. I'm not that. I'm a little younger than that. So Harvey Bernhard, a European Jewish producer, took the script from Bobby Poole, who wrote it on toilet tissue in San Quentin, and he made a movie. He got rich off of it. He got rich off it. I'm willing to bet you Bobby Poole didn't get a penny. I'm willing to bet you Bobby Poole never got a penny from writing the Mac. Who want to bet me? I want somebody to do the research. Can somebody do the research? Get on your computer, look up Bobby Poole with the E on the end, Pool. Bobby Poole, San Quentin prison, wrote the Mac on toilet tissue. It was taken by a European Jewish producer, Harvey Bernhard, turned into the most popular blaxploitation movie of all time. And I'm willing to bet Bobby Poole, the San Quentin inmate who wrote the script for the Mac, wrote the screenplay for the Mac, I'll bet you he never got a penny. I bet you he never got a penny. It played in 20 cities and outgrossed. Listen to this, brothers and sisters. Y'all not going to believe this. Listen to this fact about the Mac, the white produced king of blaxploitation movies, the Jewish produced king of blaxploitation movies. The Mac outgrossed The Godfather. Listen, it came out the same time as The Godfather, the same year, the same time. Every city where the Mac played, it outgrew. I'm not reading from a book, brother. These are my notes. I'm not reading from a book. I'm a researcher, master researcher. Every city where the Mac played, it outgrossed The Godfather. And you know The Godfather is one of the all-time best-selling American movies. The Godfather is one of the all-time best-selling American movies. And the Mac outgrossed, made more money and sold more tickets than The Godfather in all 20 cities where the Mac was played. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? The Mac sold more tickets than The Godfather in all 20 cities where it played. That also means what? That white people were more interested in the Mac than The Godfather. White people were more interested in watching the Mac than watching The Godfather. Let's move on. April 15th, 1973, America finally pulls out of Vietnam. April 15th, 1973, America pulls out of Vietnam. I got some cash apps for my 11th anniversary. Let me read my cash apps for my 11th anniversary. Brother Michael, thank you, my brother. 11-year anniversary. Sister Leslie, thank you, Queen. Kel Williams, thank you, my brother. Kalima Jackson, appreciate you, Queen. Ty Quinn, I'm a learning student. Good lessons. Thank you, brother Ty Quinn, for your 11-year anniversary cash app. Marquis Martinez, appreciate you, Queen. I think that's some. Yes, that's a queen. Appreciate you, Sister Marquis Martinez, with your fine self. Marco Floyd, appreciate you, brother. Vernell Folk, for support from a Ghana girl. Okay, Sister Vernell, I appreciate you. Shout out to my Ghanaian Africans. Can't wait to get back to Ghana. Brother William Hart, Gloria Steinem manipulated black women. Shout out to William Hart. You are absolutely correct, my brother. You are absolutely correct. Y'all didn't ask no questions, though, but that's okay. I appreciate the 11-year anniversary donations. If you have a question or a comment you want me to read, Cash App, $ Dr. Umar Johnson. We celebrating the Prince today. Still donate to the school. School always comes first. But I'm using the phone that has the school's PayPal on it to do today's live. I'm using the FDMG phone on which I handle all FDMG business to do the live. So I can't read the Cash Apps for FDMG or FDMG's PayPal right now. I can only read the personal PayPals and personal Cash Apps to Dr. Umar's phone. So you can Cash App $ Dr. Umar Johnson. If you have a question or comment in celebration of my 11-year anniversary as King of the Conscious Community when I invaded Harlem, New York on October the 30th, 2010, 11 years ago. Getting back to the timeline, and I'll check the phone periodically for questions and comments on the Cash App. Getting back to the Black America since Dr. King, and I will check the Cash App periodically. Okay. America pulls out of Vietnam, April 15th, 1973. America pulls out of Vietnam, April 15th, 1973. On May the 2nd of 1973. Listen, this is important. I need you to listen up. We get into Queen Mother Assata Shakur right now. We come into Queen Mother Assata Shakur right now. Let's listen up. Because 1973 is the year of Queen Mother Assata Shakur. 1973 is the year of Queen Mother Assata Shakur. And Barack Obama, President Barack Obama, on behalf of all revolutionary Pan-African nationalists around the world, to President Obama, on behalf of all revolutionary Pan-African nationalists around the world, President Obama, we want to collectively say you can go to hell, sir, because you increased the bounty on Queen Mother Assata Shakur's head. You increased the FBI bounty on Queen Mother Assata Shakur's head when you were president of the United States, and you took it up to $2 million, I believe. Somebody fact check that. Did Obama take it up to 2 million or 3 million? I believe he took the bounty on Assata's head up to $2 million when he was president of the United States. And that bounty still stands to this very day. And that bounty still stands to this very day. And that bounty on Queen Mother Assata's head still stands to this very day. Assata Shakur, $2 million bounty, dead or alive. Dead or alive, just like they did to Queen Mother Harriet Tubman almost 200 years earlier. Just like they did to Queen Mother Harriet Tubman almost 200 years earlier, President Barack Obama, and you Negroes love him. You Negroes call him a hero. You Negroes are infatuated with that man, and he made a black woman public enemy #1, increasing her bounty to $2 million. And if I'm not mistaken, it became the highest FBI bounty on a wanted fugitive in American history up until that time. It became the highest FBI bounty on a wanted fugitive for anyone up until that time. Barack Obama should be ashamed of himself, and any Obama supporter should be ashamed of yourself. Any black woman that supports Obama has to explain this to me. Any black woman that supports Barack Obama has to explain to me, how can you do that when he put an elder Queen Mother warrior? How can you support him when he put a Queen Mother elder, revolutionary fighter who fought for our rights, fought against police genocide? Obama put her at the top of the most wanted list. Obama put her at the top of the most wanted list. $2 million, dead or alive. The bounty still stands. How can any black woman support Barack Obama? How can any black man support Barack Obama after that? So let's get into it. Let's get into it. On May 2nd, 1973, New Jersey state troopers stopped a car carrying 3 Black Liberation Army members. On May the 2nd, 1973, New Jersey state troopers stopped a car carrying 3 Black Liberation Army members, including Queen Mother Assata Shakur. A shootout took place. A shootout took place. A shootout took place between the 3 Black Liberation Army members and the New Jersey state troopers, leaving 1 Black Liberation Army member dead and a state trooper dead. Assata Shakur was shot in the shoulder. Sundiata Acoli, Baba Sundiata Acoli, drove his white Cadillac 5 miles. Police chased the white Pontiac. The car pulled over. Sundiata Acoli escaped into the woods. He would be caught later. Assata Shakur surrendered, put her arms up. She was shot under her arms. They shot Queen Mother Assata Shakur anyway. Thank you, D. Hayes. They shot Queen Mother Assata Shakur anyway in her armpits while she surrendered. She was incarcerated. She was placed under heavy guard. Her life was in serious condition. She was indicted at least 10 times. And on March the 24th of 1977, on March the 24th, 1977, Queen Mother Assata Shakur was convicted on 8 counts, 2 counts of murder and 6 counts of assault. 2 counts of murder and 6 counts of assault. She was sentenced to 26 to 33 years in prison. Queen Mother Assata was sentenced by New Jersey court to 26 to 33 years. She must serve 25 years before she can be paroled. She must serve 25 years before she can be paroled. They could never prove if she ever fired a shot at all. Although she was convicted of the murder, there is no ballistic evidence that prove Queen Mother Assata ever pulled a trigger. On May 11th, 1973, the Bilderberg meeting is held in Sweden. On June the 5th, 1973, here we go with more tokenism. Here we go with more tokenism. Here we go with more tokenism. How do they distract Black America from Assata's trumped up conviction? How do they distract Black America from Queen Mother Assata Shakur's trumped up conviction? You know what they do? They make Doris Davis the first Black female mayor of a major city, Compton, California. And they make Tom Bradley the first Black mayor of Los Angeles. How did they get Black people to stop worrying about Assata Shakur? How did they get Black people to stop protesting Queen Mother Assata Shakur's unjust conviction and unjust sentence? How did they get us to turn our heads away from Assata with this tokenism? You know what they do the next month after they convict Assata Shakur? They still use these same tactics today. They still use these same tactics today. They still use these same tactics today. How did they get us to take our eyes off of Assata? They make a Black woman the first mayor of a major city, Doris Davis, Compton, California, and Tom Bradley, Los Angeles, California. Tokenism, 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 the illusion of inclusion. I'm not knocking Doris Davis. God bless the Queen. I'm not knocking Tom Bradley. Maybe I heard he did some good things for Black Los Angeles. I'm not knocking them, but I want you to see how the government still uses the same tactics. When they do one thing, they try to clean it up with another thing. When they do one thing, they try to clean it up with another thing. I will debate Barack Obama anytime, anywhere. I will debate Barack Obama anytime, anywhere. On June 21st, 1973, the Supreme Court would rule if one section of a school district is found to be intentionally segregated, all other areas could be found in violation as well. Listen to this. Listen to this. This is important. The Supreme Court, June 21st, 1973. By the way, brothers and sisters, I registered to take the LSAT. I registered to take the LSAT. The Prince of Pan-Africanism will be taking the law school admission tests. I'm taking the LSAT, brothers and sisters. I think it's time for me to become the first major black educational attorney since Thurgood Marshall and Charles Hamilton Houston. That's 64, 74, 84, 94, 04, 14, 70 years we haven't had a major serious black educational attorney. In 70 years, we haven't had a major black educational attorney. And if I get accepted, when I get accepted to law school, I'm going to put on some events to help raise money to pay for the tuition, because I can't afford it myself. When I get accepted into law school, I'm going to put on some events, write some more books, do some programs, trips to raise money, because we need a serious black educational attorney to fight and push back. So I just want my supporters to know, yesterday, the day before my 11th anniversary, I registered to take the LSAT. Let's continue. So on June 21st, 1973, my phone number, 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858. If you need to text message me or send a Zelle donation for the 11-year anniversary of King Kong Consciousness, 215-989-9858. So on June 20, or Cash App, $ Dr. Umar Johnson, Cash App, $ Dr. Umar Johnson. You must put Johnson. $ Dr. Umar is a fake Cash App. You must add Johnson. $ Dr. Umar is a fake Cash App. On June 21st, 1973, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled if one section of a school district is found to be intentionally segregated, all other areas could also be found in violation as well. In July of 1973, 32-year-old Kung Fu legend Bruce Lee. In July of 1973, 32-year-old Kung Fu legend Bruce Lee dies days before the release of Enter the Dragon. He was only 32. His son would also be killed on the set of a movie. Bruce Lee, Kung Fu legend, dies at the age of 32, days before the release of Enter the Dragon. August the 15th, 1973, the National Black Feminist Organization is founded. Let me say it again. I hope black women are listening. I hope black women are listening. I hope my black sisters are listening. On August the 15th, 1973, the National Black Feminist Organization is founded. The National Black Feminist Organization is founded 5 years after Dr. King is murdered. Is that a coincidence, black women? Why did the CIA finance the black feminist agenda? Why did the CIA finance the black feminist agenda? The National Black Feminist Organization is founded in 1973. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why the National Black Feminist Organization was founded on August the 15th of 1973. Before I do, let me shout out some of my 11th anniversary donors. Brother Roy, thank you for that donation. Sister Tanya, let me know if you received it. Yes, I did, Sister Tanya. Good to see you, beautiful. Shout out to you and Cody. I received it, Sister Tanya. Kiana, for single mothers and support for life. Thank you, Sister Kiana. And I love my single mothers. I wouldn't mind if both my wives are single black mothers. I wouldn't have a problem with that, because I don't plan on having any more children, I don't think. So if both my wives can have a couple princes and princesses that I can help raise and nurture and prepare for the African liberation struggle, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I don't care if it's 1 baby, 3 baby, 5 babies, 7 babies. I don't mind if both my queens are multiple single mothers. I don't mind. Thank you, Sister Kiana. Sister Justine, happy 11th anniversary. Thank you, Sister Justine. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. It's been 11 years and we got 111 more to go. It's been 11 years and we got 111 more to go. Now, let me tell you why the feminist movement, the National Black Feminist Organization, was founded in 1973. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why the National Black Feminist Organization was founded. Y'all ready? 3 reasons. Reason number 1, in 1973, they would start to deindustrialize the inner city. In the 1970s, the U.S. government, the white power structure, started to deindustrialize the inner city. That means they started to do what? Take out the factory jobs and take out the industrial building trades out of the high school. 1970 was the decade of making black men economically irrelevant to black women. The 1970s was the decade of making black men economically irrelevant to black women. The 1970s was the decade of making black men economically irrelevant to black women by shutting down the factory jobs and taking out the industrial building trades from the black high schools. No more carpentry, no more electric, no more plumbing training, no more HVAC training, no more roofing, no more brick mason, no more welding. They took all the skills out. They knew that this was going to cause a problem in the black home because there can't be no romance without finance. They knew this was going to cause a problem in the black home because there can't be no romance without finance. So to make sure the black woman would not fight for the black man, to make sure the black woman would not fight for the black man to get his jobs back, for the black schools to get the training programs back, to make sure the black woman wouldn't fight to bring the factory jobs back, they started the National Black Feminist Organization to manipulate black women into thinking the reason your man ain't got no job because he lazy and unmotivated. This is why the National Black Feminist Organization, NBFO, was founded August 15th, 1973. National Black Feminist Organization, founded just in time to brainwash black women into thinking the black man is your problem instead of racism. The National Black Feminist Organization, NBFO, was founded on August the 15th of 1973 to brainwash black women into thinking that the black man is unemployed because he ain't got no character, he ain't got no work ethic, he is lazy, as opposed to looking at the systematic economic disenfranchisement of the black man. They also started NBFO, the National Black Feminist Organization, on August the 15th of 1973, because they knew in 1980 the CIA was dropping the crack off. They knew in 1980 the CIA was dropping the crack off. And since the CIA was going to drop crack off and start locking up black men by the millions, the greatest explosion in mass incarceration in the world is during the CIA crack era. The greatest explosion in mass incarceration in the world was during the CIA crack era, and they wanted to make sure black women would not fight for the liberation of black men. They wanted to make sure black women would not fight for the liberation of black men. And that's why the National Black Feminist Organization was founded around the same time that welfare in the black community, A lot of the welfare programs really start coming into full force in the 1970s. Not because they cared about black women, not because they cared about black children, but they gave the black woman welfare. So to say, listen, don't worry about your man. We're going to give you housing. Don't worry about your man. We're going to give you food stamps. Don't worry about your man. We're going to give you medical. Don't worry about your man. We're going to give you a monthly check. So welfare was the funding for the feminist agenda. Welfare in the hood was the funding mechanism for feminism. Nothing wrong with our sisters taking welfare. They needed it. Nothing wrong with our sisters taking welfare. They needed it. The point that I'm making was welfare was a distraction. It made it more acceptable for the black woman to accept. Welfare made it more acceptable for the black woman to turn her back. Welfare made it easier for the black woman to make it without the black man. This was a setup. See, when the black man and the black woman fights each other, when the black woman and the black man fight each other, the children lose and the white power structure win. When the black man and the black woman fight each other, the children lose and the white man wins. When the black man and the black woman fights each other, the children lose and the white man wins. Feminism is a weapon the government put in the black community to make sure the black woman would not come to the aid of the black man. Let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue. On September the 24th, 1973, a few months after they assassinated our revolutionary Pan-Africanist leader, Amilcar Cabral, Guinea-Bissau, the country whose independence struggle he led, finally gains its independence from Portugal. Rest in peace, Amilcar Cabral. Long live Amilcar Cabral. May Amilcar Cabral come and stand with me and all revolutionary Pan-Africanists across the world as we continue to fight and finish the works of all the great Pan-Africanists who came before us. Rest in peace to Amilcar Cabral. On October the 6th, 1973, the Arab-Israeli war is fought mostly in Egypt. From October the 6th to October the 25th of 1973, the Arab-Israeli war is fought mostly in Egypt and northern Israel. On October 16th, 1973, on October 16th, 1973, the anniversary of the John Brown raid on Harper's Ferry, Virginia, October 16th, 1959, when 5 Africans gave their lives. 5 black men, 5 alpha males gave their lives. Their names were, if I can remember them, Dangerfield Newby. Come on. Dangerfield Newby, Lewis Leary, Shields Green. Dangerfield Newby, Lewis Leary, Shields Green, Anderson, what was his name? Osborne Anderson, the 5 black men who fought for John Brown. Because y'all keep talking about John Brown. Y'all keep talking about white man John Brown. But y'all never pay homage to the 5 Africans who perished with white man John Brown. Dangerfield Newby was the oldest soldier and the first to die. He was a black man. They shot him through his throat with a spike. Dangerfield Newby was the first to die and the oldest of John Brown's soldiers. He was a black man. They shot him through his neck with a spike and then they desecrated his body. They desecrated his body like they desecrated Nat Turner's body. So why y'all keep talking about John Brown? Y'all can respect him. Don't get me wrong. But I never hear you Negroes who keep worshiping white man with your white Jesus. I never hear y'all talk about the 5 Africans who died with John Brown. Osborne Anderson, Dangerfield Newby, Lewis Sheridan, Shields Green, and I'm missing the last name. Hold on. Can't leave an ancestor out. Can't leave an ancestor out. Can't leave an ancestor out. John Copeland. John Copeland, Shields Green, Dangerfield Newby, Lewis Leary, Osborne Anderson. Your son will learn those names at the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Your son will learn those names at the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Whether he's in my college and consciousness tour, whether he is a student at the school, whether he is in an aftercare program, whether he is in an FDMG summer camp, whether he's on an FDMG Africa tour, your son can be a part of the FDMG family even if you don't live in Delaware. Your son can be a part of the FDMG family even if you don't live in New Jersey. Your son can be a part of the FDMG family even if you don't live in Pennsylvania. Your son can be a part of the FDMG family even if you don't live in Maryland. Now, black boys who live in Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware, they can commute Southern PA, Southern Jersey, Northern Maryland, and all over Delaware. But even if he don't live close enough to go to the school, he can be a part of the College and Consciousness Tour. He could be a part of our weekend retreat and camping program. He could be a part of our African excursions, our aftercare program, our summer camp. All black boys. All black boys. We are leading the black boy revolution. We are leading the black boy revolution, brothers and sisters. So on October the 16th of 1973, anniversary of the Harpers Ferry 5, Maynard Jackson becomes first black mayor in Atlanta and first black mayor of a southern city. Maynard Jackson, who was one of our most progressive black mayors. Maynard Jackson, who helped pave the way for a lot of the good things that came through Atlanta since then. He becomes the first black mayor of a southern city when he becomes mayor of Atlanta, October the 16th, 1973. Here go to tokenism. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for the tokenism? Are y'all ready for the tokenism? Are y'all ready for the tokenism? Maynard Jackson becomes the mayor of Atlanta in 1973. And the same year that Maynard Jackson becomes mayor of Atlanta, Richard Nixon signs into law the Drug Enforcement Agency. Did y'all hear what I just said? Every time you get a token, you know they doing something against black folks. Every time you get a token, you know they doing something against black folks. So Maynard Jackson becomes the first black mayor of a southern city. Tokenism. In the same year, Richard Nixon gives birth to the Drug Enforcement Agency, which would incarcerate more black men, or should I say incarcerate the most people in the history of the modern world. See what they did? They gave you a black mayor in the southern states, and then they give you the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Agency of the United States, the DEA, the DEA. Lord have mercy. Formed when? July the 1st, 1973. July the 1st was the birth of the Drug Enforcement Agency. Richard Nixon, July the 1st, 1973. The birth of the Drug Enforcement Agency, signed into law by racist, renegade, retard Republican Richard Nixon. Brothers and sisters, under the DEA, proposed the creation of a single federal agency to enforce the federal drug laws, headquartered in Washington, D.C., a digital evidence library, and guess how much money they get? Guess how much money they get? The DEA budget in 2018 was $2.9 billion. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Did y'all hear what I just said? I don't think y'all heard what I just said. I don't think y'all heard what I just said. The Drug Enforcement Agency, which was birthed by Richard Nixon on July the 1st, 1973, so it's 47 years old, in 2018 had a budget of $2.9 billion. Do you know what that means, brothers and sisters? Do you know what that means, brothers and sisters? Do you know what that means, brothers and sisters? Let me tell you what that means. That means the money America should be paying you for reparations. The money America should be paying you for reparations. The money America should be paying Africans for reparations is being used for your incarceration. Let me say it again. And you Negroes are still on the Democratic Party plantation. You Negroes are still on the Republican Party plantation. You Negroes are still on the Democratic Party plantation. You Negroes are still on the Republican Party plantation. They are spending $2 billion every year to incarcerate black men and women. That's the same money they should be using to make reparations payments. Your reparation payment is being used to incarcerate you. Your reparations is being used to re-enslave you. What if we got $2 billion in reparations every year? What if that $2 billion that they give to the Drug Enforcement Agency of America, what if that $2 billion they give to the Drug Enforcement Agency of America was given to Black America as a reparations payment every year, brothers and sisters? These are the conversations we need to be having. One of my New Year's resolutions is to schedule 4 quarterly meetings with the Congressional Black Caucus in Washington, D.C. Who wants to come with me? Who wants to come? Suited and booted. We're not walking in there with pants sagging. We're not walking in there, with your breasts out, ladies, with the extra tight jeans. You can put that on when we get out the meeting. I love it. But when it's time for business, it's time for business because it is consciousness over the cookies. It is politics over the punani. It is business before the back shots. And it is revolution before romance. Who wants to go with Dr. Umar to meet with the 59 Negroes on Capitol Hill? Who wants to go with the Prince of Pan-Africanism to meet with the Congressional Black Caucus in 2022? I need serious brothers and serious sisters. I need serious brothers and serious sisters. Suit and tie, briefcase. We walking in there like we are about business. We want to ask them. You are as old as the Drug Enforcement Agency. Congressional Black Caucus, you are as old as the Drug Enforcement Agency. Can you tell me why the Drug Enforcement Agency still exists? Can you tell me why you haven't redirected some of those millions away from the Drug Enforcement Agency to Black America? I'm not going to be disrespectful. I have nothing but respect for Queen Mother Maxine Waters. I'm not going to be disrespectful. I have nothing but respect for Queen Mother Maxine Waters. I respect our elected Black congresspersons. I respect our U.S. Black representatives and our few U.S. Black senators, but we need questions answered. Because if they don't give us no questions, we're going to have to boycott the CBC. We may have to boycott the CBC because we haven't put any fire underneath the CBC in 47 years. We haven't put any fire. As far as I'm concerned, the Congressional Black Caucus is as big of a problem as the Drug Enforcement Agency. As far as I'm concerned, the Congressional Black Caucus is as big of a problem as the Drug Enforcement Agency. Let me give you the birth date on them. Congressional Black Caucus is founded March the 30th, 1971. So they are 2 years older than the CBC. They were founded in 71. Token. We're going to create a Congressional Black Caucus for the Negroes in 1971 because in 1973, we come in with the Drug Enforcement Agency that's going to mass incarcerate more people than ever in modern history. Y'all see that? Y'all see the setup for the setback? Do y'all see how they do this? The setup for the setback? We're going to put Barack Obama in office. And while Black people celebrating Barack Obama, we're going to give everything their ancestors fought for over to the Rainbow Nation. So by the time Barack Obama is out of office, all attention will be on the Rainbow Nation and no attention on the Black nation. Do y'all see how that works? Do y'all see how the setup for the setback goes? The okey doke, the underlay for the overplay for the underlay, 1 step forwards, 3 steps backwards. Do y'all see how this works, brothers and sisters? 1973, Marion Wright Edelman starts the Children's Defense Fund. Much respect to the Queen Mother, but the Rockefellers was a major contributor to her fund. No disrespect, but the white power structure was a big part of that. Also in 1973, Zbigniew Brzezinski founds the Trilateral Commission for the Rockefellers. In 1973, Zbigniew Brzezinski founds the Trilateral Commission for the Rockefellers. Trilateral, Western Europe, North America, and Tokyo, Japan. Trilateral, Washington, D.C., London, England, Tokyo, Japan. Trilateral. 1973, Bahamas gains its independence from Britain. Shout out to all my Bahamian brothers and sisters. Now we in 1974, January of 1974. Coleman Young becomes the first black mayor of Detroit. He would serve 20 years. Coleman Young, one of the most unapologetically African black leaders in American history. Shout out to Detroit. I will be returning in the new year. Shout out to Black Motown. Shout out to Grand Rapids. Shout out to Flint, Michigan. Shout out to Kalamazoo. Shout out to my Michigan Africans, my revolutionary Detroit Africans. I will be returning in the new year. January of 1974, Coleman Young becomes the first black mayor of Detroit, and he would serve 20 years. February the 1st, 1974, Abram Onkupasti of South Africa is killed in Botswana. Rest in paradise. February the 7th of 1974, Grenada, homeland of Malcolm X's mother. February the 7th of 1974, Grenada gets independence from Britain. April the 8th of 1974, Hank Aaron will hit his 715th career home run, setting a new record. April the 8th of 1974, Hank Aaron, arguably the greatest baseball player of all time, a black man, hits his 715th career home run, setting a new record. Unfortunately, Hank Aaron died last year because he took the COVID shot. Unfortunately, Hank Aaron died earlier this year, or was it last year, because he took the COVID shot. Hank Aaron is dead because of the COVID vaccination. One of our greatest legendary black athletes. April 19th, 1974, the Bilderbergs meet in France. May of 1974, Richard Pryor. May of 1974, the greatest comedian of all time, Richard Pryor, releases That Negro Crazy. 33-minute stand-up comedy album, wins a Grammy. The album went on to become #1 on Billboard R&B Soul for 4 weeks. Richard Pryor was that dude. Richard Pryor was that dude. Richard Pryor was that dude. May of 1974, Richard Pryor releases That N-Word Crazy. That N-Word, but he didn't say N-Word, he said the word. That N-Word Crazy, a 33-minute stand-up comedy album, wins a Grammy. And the album went on to become #1 on Billboard R&B Soul for 4 weeks. Richard Pryor was that dude. David Chappelle is that dude. Richard Pryor was that dude. David Chappelle was that dude. But I got one problem with Richard Pryor and David Chappelle. I have one problem with Richard Pryor and David Chappelle. Let me clear that up. I got 2 problems with Richard Pryor and David Chappelle. And the same 2 problems I have with Richard Pryor are the same 2 problems I have with David Chappelle. And the problems that Dr. Umar has with Richard Pryor and David Chappelle is that both of them made white people too comfortable using the N-word. Richard Pryor normalized the N-word in American slang. David Chappelle is normalizing the N-word in American comedy. I don't like the fact that Richard Pryor and David Chappelle, although they were 2 of the most politically progressive comedians, Richard Pryor and David Chappelle's genius is that they use comedy as a medium to communicate the political contradictions of white supremacy. The brilliance of Richard Pryor and the brilliance of Dave Chappelle is that they use comedy as a medium to attack the white power structure. And I salute them for that. I salute them for that. But the problem with Richard Pryor and the problem with Dave Chappelle, they have made the N-word too comfortable of a word to be used around white folks. That's number one. That's number one. Dave Chappelle, stop using the N-word, my brother. Not every day, all day. You use the N-word too much. That is a mistake, my brother. Richard Pryor made the same mistake. The second mistake that they both made is they married non-African women. The second mistake of Richard Pryor and Dave Chappelle. The second mistake of Richard Pryor and Dave Chappelle is they both dedicated their life to a non-African woman. Those are my issues. I'm not going to throw out the baby with the bathwater. I'm not going to throw out the baby with the bathwater. I'm not going to throw out the baby with the bathwater. But popularizing the N-word and marrying a non-African woman makes it difficult for me to hold those brothers up as role models for our children. I'm just being honest. It would be difficult for me to hang up Richard Pryor's photo or David Chappelle's photo in the school. I will teach about them because they are Black history. Our children will learn about them and their contributions because they made a good contribution. But I can't hang them up in the school because of your popularization of the N-word and your snow bunny crisis. And your snow bunny crisis. And your snow bunny crisis. Let's get back to the timeline. You're listening to Dr. Umar. We're talking Black America Since King, 1973 and beyond. I've already done Black America Since King, 1965 to 1968. Watch it on Facebook. I've done Black America Since King, 1968 to 1970. Watch it on Facebook. And I did Black America Since King, 1970 to 1972. Watch it on Facebook. And now I'm doing Black America Since King, 1973 and beyond. Let me shout out my 11th year anniversary Cash App donors. Let me shout out, see if I got any more 11th anniversary Cash App donors. If you want to donate to Dr. Umar for his 11th year of King of the Conscious Community, today is my anniversary of my Harlem, New York City lecture, which catapulted me to the top of the global Pan-African movement. Sister Chanel, thank you. Sister Tanya, I love you too, beautiful. Brother Jimmy, appreciate you. Sister Stephanie, congrats for 11 years. How do I save my sons? Put them in the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, Sister Stephanie. Black College and Consciousness Tour. Don't forget, Black College and Consciousness Tour coming up. I will have the information in the new year. 11 to 17, one trip. 18 to 25, second trip. Boys and girls. 11 to 17, one trip. 18 to 25, second trip. We will be going for 1 week or 2 weeks. I haven't decided yet. The first college tour, we were going for 2 weeks. The first college tour, we were going for 2 weeks. If you want to take the course of Pan-Africanism, you must email me. If you want to take the course of Pan-Africanism, it is a 1-year course from January the 8th of 2022 until January the 1st of 2023. There will be 18 class meetings. Okay, 18 class meetings. 6 of them will be face-to-face. The other 12 will be by Zoom. 18 class meetings. 6 will be face-to-face. That's when you take your exams and do your field trips. That's when you take your exams and do your field trips. You must email drumarjohnson@yahoo.com. If you want to join my organization, Team Pan-African. If you want to join my organization, Team Pan-African, the international movement for the independence and protection of African people, you must also send an email, drumarjohnson@yahoo.com, or Team Pan-African with a C at yahoo.com, or Team Pan-African with a C, no hyphen, with a C, Team Pan-African at yahoo.com. If you want to take the class and be a part of Team Pan-African, you can put that in one email. Shout out to Baba David Barnes, New World View. Next Sunday we on, Baba, next Sunday. Appreciate the love. Baba David came out to the first annual FDMG Festival. Make sure you set your clocks for the second FDMG Festival, which will be followed by the Unapologetically African Awards. 2 events on the same day, Wilmington, Delaware. Mark your calendar. 2 events on the same day, Wilmington, Delaware. Mark your calendar. The 2nd annual FDMG Festival, Saturday, September the 10th. 1st annual Unapologetically African Awards. It is a red carpet suit and tie. Excuse me. It is a red carpet black tie or African formal. Red carpet, black tie, African formal. Ladies, get that dress and get them heels out. Get that pocketbook and that lipstick ready. Ladies, get that dress and them heels out. Get that pocketbook and that lipstick ready for the red carpet at the 1st annual Unapologetically African Awards. Brothers and sisters, 6th Pan-African Congress is held in June of 1974 in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. On June 15th, 1974, 1 year after the DEA is founded, tokenism, June 15th, 1974, 1 year after the DEA is founded, megastar Bill Cosby, Richard Pryor, Sidney Poitier, and Harry Belafonte in a blockbuster movie, megastars Bill Cosby, Richard Pryor, Sidney Poitier, and Harry Belafonte and Flip Wilson star in the comedy crime film Uptown Saturday Night. Uptown Saturday Night was released on June 15th, 1974. It grossed $7 million and made the list of the top 50 highest grossing films of all time, coming in at number 3 just 3 months after its release. Blaxploitation. Blaxploitation tokenism. Blaxploitation tokenism. I love the movie. Don't get me wrong. I love Uptown Saturday Night. Bill Cosby, Richard Pryor, Sidney Poitier, Harry Belafonte, Flip Wilson, star in Uptown Saturday Night. $7 million. Top 50 highest grossing movie of all time at that time, and went on to become number 3. Went on to become number 3 in 3 months after its release. But Richard Pryor, white wife. Sidney Poitier, white wife. Harry Belafonte, white wife. I'm going to say it again. Richard Pryor, white wife. Sidney Poitier, white wife. Harry Belafonte, white wife. I don't know if Flip Wilson had a white wife. I don't know. Somebody let me know. Do the research. Did Flip Wilson have a white wife? Did Flip Wilson have a white wife? Bill Cosby, say what you want, he married a black woman. Bill Cosby, say what you want, he married a black woman. Bill Cosby, say what you want, he married a black woman. July 25th, 1974, Supreme Court decision, Milliken versus Bradley, rules that you can't force schools to desegregate across district lines. This Supreme Court decision undermined the Brown versus Board of Education Supreme Court decision. Milliken versus Bradley. Let me explain this to you. It ruled you cannot integrate school districts across district lines. Let me give you an example. Philadelphia School District is 99% black. Let's just say for the sake of conversation. Or 85% black. In order to integrate the children of Philadelphia School District, you have to mix them with Lower Merion School District, Kobe Bryant, right? You got to take white kids from Lower Merion, bust them to Philly, and you got to take black kids from Philly and bust them to Lower Merion. You got to integrate across districts because most districts are predominantly black or white, correct? Well, guess what? The Supreme Court said you can't do that. The Supreme Court said you can't do that. The Supreme Court said you cannot integrate students across district lines. And since you cannot integrate students across district lines, what good was the 1954 Supreme Court school desegregation decision if you can't integrate students across district lines when most districts are racially segregated? 1974 undid 1954. 1974 undid 1954. Look at the tokenism. Uptown Saturday Night. Cosby, Pryor, Poitier, Belafonte, and Wilson came out when? June 15th. When did the Supreme Court decide you can't integrate across districts? July 25th. 5 weeks after the movie came out. 5 weeks after the movie came out. So while black people is celebrating the movie, everybody going to the movies to see Uptown Saturday Night. Everybody going to the movies to see Uptown Saturday Night. Everybody going to the movies to see Uptown Saturday Night. And why you not paying attention? While you're not watching, the Supreme Court invalidates the 1954 Supreme Court decision. It's time for action. Tired of talking. I agree with you, Brother Marley. But if you don't want to hear this, get off the live, brother. Get off the live. I'm sure I do more for the community than you and anybody you know. I promise you that. I promise you that, brother. So if that was a hit, get off my live or I can block you. Which do you prefer? Don't come on here popping your mouth, brother. If you don't want to talk, get off and go do something. I'm building 2 schools. What are you doing? I'm building 2 schools. What are you doing? I'm saving black children every day. What are you doing? I'm helping parents help their children. What are you doing? I have the National Independent Black Parent Association. What are you doing? I'm about to meet with the Congressional Black Caucus. What are you doing? Let's continue. On August the 9th of 1974, Gerald Ford replaces Richard Nixon following his impeachment and removal. Beverly Johnson becomes the first black woman cover of Vogue magazine. Token, token, token. Illusion of inclusion, illusion of inclusion, illusion of inclusion. The DEA is locking black people up. Supreme Court says you can't integrate across districts, and they give us Beverly Johnson on the cover of Vogue magazine, and you Negroes call that progress. DEA is locking up black folks like it's going out of style. Supreme Court says you can't desegregate the schools across district, and they put a black woman on the cover of Vogue magazine. And they put a black woman on the cover of Vogue magazine, and you call that progress. September the 12th of 1974. Shout out to my Rastafari family. September the 12th of 1974. Shout out to my Rastafari family. My Bobo Shanti Rastafari, my Naya Bingi Rastafari, my 12 Tribe Rastafari. On September the 12th of 1974, Emperor Haile Selassie I is overthrown, ending a 3,000-year Ethiopian monarchy. He was killed allegedly August the 27th of 1975. There's controversy surrounding the identification of his body. Rastafari believe he ascended to heaven to meet his father, the Black Christ. Rest in peace to His Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, one of the founding members of the Organization of African Unity, who built the headquarters of the African Union in Ethiopia. My first trip to Africa, I came in through Ethiopia. I came out from Ethiopia. My first trip to Africa, I came in through Ethiopia. I came out from Ethiopia, and I cried. I cried my first night on the continent, staying at His Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I's hotel that he built, Hotel Gihan. I cried that night. And Africa been in me ever since. I am an African. If you want to be indigenous, if you want to be a pretendian, because we got this pretendian movement. Y'all know about that, right? Not Indians, pretendians. These are Africans pretending to be Indians. If you are a part of the pretendian movement, good luck. If you want to be a pretendian, what is a pretendian? An African who hates being an African and wants to be a Native American. I call it the pretendian nation. How many pretendians we got on the live? How many pretendians we got? All you pretendians. A pretendian is not an Indian. It's an African who wants to be one. A pretendian is not an Indian. It's an African who wants to be one. I will never, ever, ever turn my back on my ancestors. I will never, ever turn my back on the men and women who put up with that hell of slavery and colonization and second-class citizenship and dehumanization. I will never turn my back on my ancestors because I hate myself. I will never turn my back on my ancestors because I hate myself. That's what's wrong with the pretendian nation. The pretendian nation hates themselves so much they want to turn their back. And I'm not mocking my Native American brothers and sisters. I'm not mocking my Native American brothers and sisters. I have a lot of Native American supporters. I'm just trying to expose the hypocrisy of the ideology of the pretendian nation. What is a pretendian? An African who wants to be an Indian. Brothers and sisters, on September the 25th of 1974, Barbara Hancock is the first black female White House fellow. More tokenism. September the 25th, 1974, Barbara Hancock becomes the first black female White House fellow. More tokens. October 1974, Muhammad Ali defeats George Frazier in the Rumble in the Jungle. October 1974, Muhammad Ali and George Frazier go to the Congo, the Republic of Zaire. Muhammad Ali and George Frazier boxes it out in Zaire under Mobutu. And we don't support Mobutu because he assassinated Patrice Lumumba. Turned his back on the man who brought him up. Turned his back on the man who brought him into the government. Assassinated him under the orders of Eisenhower and Kennedy. Mobutu Sese Seko killed one of the greatest Pan-Africanists of all time, Patrice Lumumba, and then he invites Muhammad Ali and George Foreman. And then he invites Muhammad Ali and George Foreman to Kinshasa, Zaire. In the Rumble in the Jungle, Muhammad Ali wins the title back that he lost in 67. Muhammad Ali wins the title back that he lost in 67. Let me see if I got any more 11th anniversary cash apps. I'm going to call them super chats. That's what they call them on YouTube, right? I'm not on YouTube. Let me see if I got any more cash app super chats. Let me see if I got any more cash app super chats. Sister Takara, thank you, my queen. I love you too, hon. Sister Tay. From my wifey. Oh, my Facebook wifey. Thank you, baby. Thank you, baby. Hit the Cash App for the 11th anniversary, $ Dr. Umar Johnson. Hit the Cash App for the 11th anniversary, $ Dr. Umar Johnson. Don't forget to hit the Cash App for $ FDMG School as well. Don't forget to hit the Cash App for $ FDMG School as well. December the 10th of 1974. Danielle. That's true, sister. I have Native American in my family. There's white people in your family. You got a little bit of everything in your family. But why do you see the need to give up your predominant ancestry, which is African? We are the oldest genes. We are the strongest genes. We are the strongest DNA. Why do you want to give up your predominant ancestry to identify with a minority ancestry? That's the question. White people have black people, but you don't see them giving up their Europeanism, calling themselves Africans. The only people who give up their Africanism to be a white person or a multi-race or mixed race or Native American is you damn pretendians. I didn't say you don't have some native blood. I said you're not a native. I didn't say you don't have no native blood. I said you're not a native. Wherever you are in the world, you got there from Africa. That is a biological, anthropological, genetic, scientific fact. That is a fact. So I didn't say you don't have a native in your blood. You got white people in your blood. Are you going to call yourself Irish? Are you going to call yourself a Jew? You don't look anything like them. You are African. Everybody can look at you and tell you African except you because you hate yourself. You hate yourself. It's the same reason you perm your hair. It's the same reason you wear blonde hair. It's the same reason we marry white girls. We hate ourselves, and we're constantly looking for something else we can be. We want to quit being African. I'm not going to stop you. If you want to be a pretendian, be a pretendian. But I promise you one thing. Cherokee Nation is not affirming you. Which Native American nation going to affirm you pretendians? That's what I want to know. Which reservation are y'all going to go to? Which reservation are you pretendians going to go to where you're going to be considered part of the family? See, what you're doing is not new. Puerto Ricans, Cubans, and Dominicans did the same thing. They showed up in America, said, I don't want to be black because black people don't get no respect. They start calling themselves Hispanics in Spanish. You're doing the same thing they did. You're in America. You don't want to be black, so you're going to start calling yourself a Native American. That's okay. Be a pretendian. No problem. But I want to be really clear. I want to be clear. When the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy opens, it's only for Africans. Pretendians are not allowed. I want to make sure y'all understand me. I don't want no misunderstandings. All events are for Africans. Pretendians are not allowed. ADOS are not allowed. FBAs. None of you people who do not come from Africa. I respect your right to choose. But because I am about African solidarity, I don't want anyone who is ashamed of their race coming to my events. I don't want anyone who is ashamed of their race coming to my event. So no pretendians will be allowed at FDMG. Just so you know. Don't try to come back over to this side of the fence once the school is open, because that's what most of y'all going to do, because you don't know what the hell you are. You just following politically uneducated YouTubers. Stay on the pretendian side of the fence. Don't come over to the African side of the fence when FDMG opens up. And I want all my FDMG supporters, if you catch any pretendians at the school, if you catch any FBAs or ADOS at the school, pretendians, FBAs, and ADOS, the three Negro tribes, if you catch anybody from the three Negro tribes trying to gain access to an event at FDMG, please let me know so they can be escorted out by security. I don't want anybody ashamed of being African to partake in our events. Let's get back to the timeline. On December the 10th of 1974, the Trilateral Secretary of State, Henry Kissinger, releases NSSM 200 on population control, which concludes the United States will require more resources from the developing world. Population growth in Africa is threatening the U.S. ability to get resources, and African nations shouldn't be aware of population policy or it could backfire. I don't think y'all heard what I just said. This is directly relevant to COVID. This is directly relevant to AIDS. This is directly relevant to the Rainbow Nation. Did y'all hear what I said? I want you to download NSSM 200. I want you to download NSSM 200 and read the whole thing. They said the U.S. will need more resources from Africa. Population growth in Africa threatens America's ability to get the resources. And African nations shouldn't be aware of population policy or it could backfire. Keep America's population policy from Africa a secret. The three pretendian tribes, FBA, ADOS, and the pretendians. I call them the three pretendian tribes. But listen, COVID was a population control weapon on African soil, brothers and sisters. COVID was a population control weapon on African soil, brothers and sisters. COVID, they said, don't let Africa know that we pushing Rainbow Nation to reduce their numbers. Don't let Africa know we pushing AIDS to reduce their numbers. Don't let Africa know we pushing COVID to reduce their numbers. My continental Africans, please educate. My continental Africans, I want y'all to download NSSM 200. And read the whole thing. Hold study groups in Africa around NSSM 200. We need to do the same thing in America. 1974, the Supreme Court rules that employers can't force women to take maternity leave. 1974, employers cannot force women to take maternity leave. 1974, since 1970, the prison population would grow from 200,000 in 1970 to 250,000 in 1974. Why? Unemployed black males. The deindustrialization of inner cities and inner city schools. 1974, DSM-2, 7th edition, removes homosexuality as a mental disorder. 1974, DSM-2, 7th edition, removes homosexuality as a mental illness. 1974, publication of DSM-2, 7th edition, removes homosexuality as a mental disorder. Y'all ready for 1975? I'm going to do 1975 and I'm going to stop. I'm going to do 1975 and I'm going to stop for the day. Let me see if I got any more 11th anniversary super chats on my Cash App. 11th anniversary super chats on my Cash App. $ Dr. Umar Johnson. L. Wood, thank you for the teachings. I appreciate you, L. Wood. Thank you as well. I appreciate you. February the 25th, 1975. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad transitions to the ancestors, and he is succeeded by his son, W. Dean Muhammad. February the 25th, 1975, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad dies, and he is succeeded by his son. March the 18th of 1975, Herbert Chitipo of Zimbabwe is killed by the British. April the 4th of 1975, Microsoft is founded by population control junkie Bill Gates. Bill Gates founds Microsoft on April the 4th of 1975. Also in April of 1975, Saigon fell to the North Vietnamese and ends the war. America evacuates July the 2nd, 1976. The Socialist Republic of Vietnam is introduced. April the 22nd, 75, the Bilderberg meeting is held in Turkey. June 25th of 1975, Mozambique gets its independence from Portugal. Shout out to my Mozambican Africans. I haven't visited your country yet. I need to. July the 5th of 1975, Cape Verde gets its independence. Shout out to my Cape Verdean Africans. And on November the 11th, the anniversary of the hanging of Prophet Nat Turner, Angola, Sao Tome and Principe all get their independence from Portugal. On November the 25th of 75, Suriname gets its independence from Netherlands. I went to Suriname. The Prince of Pan-Africanism went to Suriname, South America. Shout out to all my Surinamese Africans. I want to come back to Suriname whenever y'all ready for me. Shout out to all my Surinamese Africans down in South America. November 29th, 1975. The Education for All Handicapped Children Act, Special Ed, which gives birth to the profession of school psychology. On November the 29th, 1975, Special Ed is birthed from the U.S. Congress. The Education for All Handicapped Children Act, November the 29th of 1974, signed by President Gerald Ford to miseducate generations of black children through the learning disability, the emotional disturbance, the intellectual disability, and later on so-called ADHD. 1975, in Chad, Francois Tambe Ibaye assassinated. 1975, Hosea Kariuki in Kenya assassinated. 1975, Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 leave Motown for Epic, but Jermaine Jackson stays with Berry Gordy on Motown because he would marry Berry Gordy's daughter. In 1975, the Jackson 5 will leave Motown for Epic, but Jermaine Jackson, after whom the Prince of Pan-Africanism was named by his mother. Jermaine Jackson, after whom the Prince of Pan-Africanism was named by his mother, would stay at Motown with Berry Gordy because he was dating Berry Gordy's daughter. 1975, the Supreme Court declares women cannot be excluded from serving on the jury. 1975, the U.S. Supreme Court rules that women cannot be excluded from serving on the jury, brothers and sisters. Brother Ty Quinn, Thank you for the donation, my brother. How can we apply today's history to our daily life? Understand it. Because everything I'm going over is relevant right now. Political science is the study of the last 50 years. And the reason political science is the study of the last 50 years, because the last 50 years are extremely relevant to your present. How do you apply it? Understand and see where the connections are. But most importantly, I'm giving you this so you can see how history repeats itself. If you understand what they did from 1970 to 2020, if you understand what they did from 1970 to 2020, you cannot be seduced, manipulated, brainwashed, or caught on guard for what they're going to do from 2020 to 2070. Do you understand, overstand, and understand me? Do you understand, overstand, and understand me? If you understand 1970 to 2020, you can't be caught sleeping from 2020 to 2070. Because everything they're going to do from 2020 to 2070 is based on what they did from 1970 to 2020. So do you understand, understand, and overstand? Chattanooga, Tennessee. I will see you Thursday. This Thursday coming. Chattanooga, I will see you Thursday. Chattanooga, I will see you this Thursday at 1403 Tunnel Boulevard. Absolutely free. No tickets are necessary. Lecture from 2 to 4, book signing from 4 to 8. Lecture from 2 to 4, book signing from 4 to 8. Chattanooga, Tennessee, first visit since 2015 and only my second visit ever. Chattanooga, Tennessee, first visit since 2015 and only my second visit ever. I will see you Thursday, November the 4th, 2 to 4 lecture. 4 to 8, stop in and get the most important book Black parents need to have. If you live in Tennessee and you don't have Black Parent Advocate, you better come to Chattanooga. If you live in Memphis and Knoxville and Nashville and you ain't got Black Parent Advocate, you better come and get that 500-page monster. You better come and get that 500-page monster so you know how to save your children. You better come and get that 500-page monster on Thursday so you know how to save your children. Atlanta, I will see you the next day. Friday, November the 5th, Amendola Afrocentric Museum, 337 Dargan Place, Atlanta. That is a 6 to 9 program on Friday. Atlanta, that is a 6 to 9 program on Friday. Atlanta, that is a 6 to 9 program. Doors at 5. If you want to be a vendor, 678-748-9652. If you want to be a vendor, 678-748-9652. Columbus, Georgia, I will be at the tailgate party. Columbus, Georgia, I will be at the tailgate party from 11 to 2 at the Fountain City Classic, McClung Memorial Stadium, 1151 Britt Avenue in Columbus, Georgia, Saturday, November the 6th from 11 until 2. Columbia, South Carolina, first time. My first time in Columbia was a private event. I'm not counting that. My first time in Columbia was a private event. I'm not counting that. Columbia, South Carolina, Dr. Umar comes for the first time. House of Hathor, Sunday, November the 7th. House of Hathor, Sunday, November the 7th from 2 until 8, 2 to 4 lecture, 4 to 8 stop in and get the most important book for Black parents. 2 to 4 lecture, 4 to 8 book signing in Chattanooga and Columbia, South Carolina. Chattanooga on Thursday and Columbia, South Carolina on Sunday. Chattanooga on Thursday and Columbia, South Carolina on Sunday. Free events, 2 to 8, book signing, lecture 2 to 4, book signing 4 to 8. Atlanta, 6 to 9, doors at 5, free. Columbus, Georgia, Fountain City Classic tailgate, 11 to 2. And then we come up to Maryland and Virginia. Capitol Heights, Everlasting Life Cafe. Capitol Heights, Everlasting Life Cafe. Capitol Heights, Everlasting Life Cafe with Dr. Baruch, our leading naturopathic doctor. If you got any type of problem and you need some help, make sure you shout out Dr. Baruch. I will be there Wednesday, November the 10th from 6 until 9. Wednesday, November the 10th from 6 until 9. Wednesday, November the 10th from 6 until 9. You can go to elifepresents.com. You need tickets for that. elifepresents.com or call The Restaurant, 301-324-6900. Is located at 9185 Central Avenue in Capitol Heights, Maryland. Again, that is a 6 to 9 on Wednesday, November the 10th. Doors at 5. And then Nat Turner Land. Today, Nat Turner was discovered, October 30th. November the 11th, he was hanged. Today, Nat Turner was discovered, October 30th. But on November the 11th, he was hanged. Go to natturnerlibrary.com. Take the Nat Turner tour. Come and do it before it's too late. Take the Nat Turner tour. Bring your children. Bring your elders. Come and take the Nat Turner tour. November the 11th. We gather at 11, tour at noon, 3 p.m. meal, 4 p.m. lecture, 8 o'clock closeout. We gather at 11 at Nat Turner Land. We take the tour at 12 at Nat Turner Land. The meal is at 3 at Nat Turner Land. 4 p.m. is the lecture, 8 o'clock we close out, and there is an African marketplace. There will be entertainment in an African marketplace. Go to natturnerlibrary.com. If you haven't been, you're not serious about the revolutionary struggle, because Nat Turner must baptize you. If you haven't been to Nat Turner Land to get baptized into the revolutionary struggle, you're not serious. Friday night's main event, Hampton Roads, Norfolk Croc Center. Friday night's main event, Hampton Roads, Norfolk Croc Center. Friday night, November the 12th, main event, 7 Cities, Hampton Roads, Norfolk Croc Center at 1401 Ballantine Boulevard. 1401 Ballantine Boulevard, $10 at the door, lecture and book signing. Doors at 4, lecture 5 to 7, book signing 7 to 9 in Norfolk. Doors at 4, lecture from 5 to 7, and book signing 7 to 9. Baltimore, Maryland, November the 14th, my great-great-great-grandfather, George Washington Belly's birthday. He was the first black public school teacher in Denton, Maryland, Civil War veteran. Great Blacks in Wax Museum, free 2 to 8. Chattanooga, Columbia, and Baltimore, 2 to 8. Chattanooga, Columbia, South Carolina, Baltimore, Maryland, 2 to 8. Great Blacks in Wax, Sunday, November the 14th, Harriet Tubman City, Frederick Douglass City. Saturday, November 14th, 2 until 8, 2 to 4 lecture, 4 to 8 book signing. If you need the flyers, you can text me 215-989-9858. If you need the flyers, you can text me 215-989-9858. If you need the flyers, you can text me 215-989-9858. 11 years. Thank you for my supporters. Thank you for those who've been with me all 11. Thank you for those who've been with me for 15. Thank you for the few of you who've known me and been with me for 21 years. I've been struggling for the people for 21 years. If I add college, I've been struggling for the people 28 years. Some of y'all been with me since college. Some of y'all been with me since I graduated college. Some of y'all been with me since the Garvey movement. Some of y'all been with me since I went to Africa. Some of y'all been with me for the 11 years. October 30, 2010, October 30, 2021. I love y'all. I love to serve y'all, because in serving my people, I serve the Most High. In serving my people, I serve the Most High. In serving my people, I serve the Most High. I'm looking for some secretaries. I need some serious, confidential, professional secretaries. I need a couple sister secretaries for a couple projects I got coming up. I need a couple sister secretaries for a couple projects I got coming up. I need a couple sister secretaries for a couple projects I got coming up. Hit that Cash App, $FDMG School. Hit that PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy, brothers and sisters. Peace and Pan-Africanism.